Good afternoon, humans of the internet and people of the future watching this in the future. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to all who celebrate. Today we are gonna do some modular synthesizer. Shocking. Yeah, I don't really have any specific goals or objectives today, as per usual. I'm just gonna sit down and see what comes up. I'm feeling a little limited by my quantizer, which for those who don't know, that's this module right here. It's the Shachmat Bard Quartet, and quantization in the world of modular synthesizers usually refers to something that turns your bleepy bloops that are not on a musical scale into something that is on a musical scale. So this unit takes the wild wee that goes all over the place, and it enforces the notes to stay in a certain scale or mode. And I think I said this last stream, when I first got this, I realized that it isn't really conducive for producing chords out of the box. So you kind of have to program it with custom settings if your goal is to produce really nice chords, meaning ensuring that one oscillator will be quantized to certain notes within a mode for a certain chord, and then the second note being other notes within that chord, for instance. Whereas the instro quantizer, that actually is specifically designed for that purpose. I forget what they call it, but it's basically a chord generator. You only put in one oscillator, or rather, you only put in one 10 volt per octave for the note, and it generates all of the other complementary notes for that chord along with it automatically that you can feed to your various oscillators. So I'm eventually planning on replacing this, but for today, I'm either thinking about not using it and not going for something too musical in general, because I feel like I rely on it too heavily, and then all of the melodies end up sounding basically the same because I haven't taken the time to program in a different mode. And the default settings don't really give me what I'm going for. So I don't know. I also thought about maybe today I'll just focus on percussion, just rhythm, something rhythmic. I don't know. But why don't we stop yapping and get started? Gotta just get my patch chords closer to me. There we go. Oh, cool. You can kind of see them in the frame. Okay. Where do we want to start? And shout out to my first follower, Monica Panzerino. What's up, Monica? I don't think you're watching. But maybe you'll watch this later. Monica's awesome. We went to the same school for undergrad, and she's the best. You know what? I haven't played with Pamela's new workout in a while, so I think I definitely want to do something with Pamela. And that, for those who don't know, it's basically, it's hard to explain because it does a lot, but basically you can feed Pamela a clock and then output various it's almost like I have a rotating clock divider and clock multiplier next to it that are very old school. You just put it in the clock and you get at the divisions or multiplications. Whereas Pamela, it has a little menu interface, and it's kind of menu divey. You can't really see it. It's behind these cables right here. But it's just like more robust, and you can do some really cool stuff from just that one clock, so it's very useful, but I haven't used it in a long time for some reason. So I think let's start there. Yeah, so I'm going to grab a square wave as my clock on the Batumi, which is right here. I like using Batumi as my main clock because it has these really nice, kind of sexy sliders. And I find that's at night. Well, I mean, theoretically, you're not adjusting your main clock much, but I don't know. I just like it. And okay, so I'm gonna start it. And oh my gosh, I haven't used this in so long that I am probably super rusty, but we gotta start somewhere. So what are we gonna do with this clock? I need to get more economical about using my patch cables. Like, I just used a super long one by default, but I don't need that for this, so I'm gonna actually switch to something shorter because I don't have enough patch cables to just go totally buck wild. I want to reserve the long ones for when I really need them. Okay, what do we want to do with the clock? I think... Why don't we... You know what? I also haven't used pluck in a long time. I don't use it that much these days because I feel like it's such... it's just such a basic module that its sound is so identifiable. And I saw somebody say something online once that, I don't know, I just can't get out of my head of it being just kind of a cliche. But that's silly. But I think, actually, what could be fun, so pluck is right here. Kind of sounds like a plucked instrument, plucked string instrument. But then I have this other, also made by the company 2HP, a module called Burst, and it takes just a basic clock or other trigger, really, any kind of trigger, and it produces a burst of pulses, like in its wake. So maybe it'd be cool to just start playing with a burst of plucks. I don't know if I've ever done that. I wonder what that sounds like. This is usually where I start. It's like, what have I not done? What have I not tried? And I wonder what that sounds like. So I'm going out of the burst into the trigger. That's too short. That looks uncomfortable. Out of the burst into the pluck trigger. And out of the pluck into the mixer. That's one of the cool things about the pluck module. You know, it's because you're just, I think they call it exciting. You're exciting the module when you're basically activating it. You don't need to use a VCA or anything. Okay, I'm going to turn this down so it's not too loud. Whoa, that's a little extreme. Let's slow things down. Okay. There we go. That's kind of what I was thinking. I don't know what this switch is on the module. There's a switch on the burst module that says trigger. It doesn't seem to do anything. It sounds like a phone ringing. A weird phone. Now, let's introduce a little life into the plucking, meaning, or rather the pattern. There's control voltage for the number of pulses, like how many pulses there are in the burst, and then there's a CD also for the rate. So like, here's the rate. Slower or fast. And this many pulses or this many pulses. So we can modulate both of those. I think modulating the rate first would be cool. Let's see. Bum. I really need to put something behind my case that's on the top here, because sometimes when I plug it into it, it slides around. That's kind of annoying. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. Because you can hear it slowing or speeding up during the pulses. That's nice. I mean, obviously the sound of the pulse is horrible. I hate it. Ooh, that's a little nicer. Ooh. Okay. Now... that's kind of nice. I want to attenuate so it doesn't go too fast, like that. I don't want it to go that fast. I believe that, like with many modules, you can just move the knob that you're using the CV on, and that will actually attenuate. So that I only have 2 attenuators, so I gotta use them sparingly. I think that worked. It's not going super duper fast at the top end now. Obviously we can't change the low end, but I don't care as much about that. And let's... yeah, I don't want to play with the dampening. I know I said I wasn't going to use the quantizer, but I'm going to. I need some kind of scale, and I mean, it doesn't have to be on a specific scale. I could just use, for instance, the Turing machine, but I don't know. Let's just use the quantizer and the Turing machine. No, we're going to send an LFO. We're going to send an LFO into the quantizer. And the other cool thing, I can't remember if with this module, normally you would need to use a sample and hold if you don't want the pitch to bend when, let's say the note changes in your LFO, and then your quantizer changes the note, but it's mid-note. If you don't want that to happen, obviously you gotta use a sample and hold. But again, I only have 2 of those, so I want to use them sparingly, and I'm not sure if I need to use one. Let's see if it bends the pitch during the pluck. No, it doesn't. Oh, it does. It really does. Well, let's quantize first. Let's quantize first. Always quantize first. LFO into the quantizer, and we might need to attenuate that. But let's just see what it does first. Where am I going? There, right. It's the downside of these 2 HP modules. They're a little crowded. Yeah, see, we're gonna have to sample and hold because you can hear it changing notes mid-pluck, which is a vibe. Like, you can totally do that if you want, but for right now, that's not really what I'm going for. It sounds like an accident, so I'd like to change that. And we're gonna do that through sample and hold. I turn that off for now, it's annoying. We're going to do that through a sample and hold that uses the same gate or trigger that we're sending to the burst. Right, because that way each burst of notes will be the same pitch. So it'll be like ding, 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 ding. Okay. So I'm gonna use this doohickey here to divide the trigger. Here, let's turn it back on so you can hear what I'm doing. Now it's gonna not do anything. And again, now that my cable can be shorter, I'm gonna use a shorter cable. I really I gotta get more cables, I gotta get more sample and holds, I gotta get more attenuators. It's just like when you're buying synth stuff, it's always, it's annoying to buy the functional stuff instead of the fun stuff like effects or, you know, voices. Okay, we got it back. And now let's send that to the sample and hold trigger in. And now we'll go back into the quantizer. And so now theoretically, each burst of notes should be the same note. Yep. So this is why Pamela's new workout is cool, because the trigger is coming out of Pamela's new workout, and right now I have it set to be 1/8 of the clock that I'm sending to Pamela. So if I'm like, I want more frequency on the triggering, I just go in and change it. I don't have to modify anything else. I don't have to use like a clock divider. I can just change just this one thing. And make it twice as fast, or frequent rather. And of course the note won't always change each time because the LFO. You know, I don't like using LFOs as a source for like a random note. I also don't like using Turing machine because it seems. No, I do. Let's do that. So instead of our LFO, and I'm just gonna go to the second spot on Pamela's new workout, send that to the clock of the Turing machine, which is going super fast at the moment, which doesn't really matter since we're going to be sampling and holding the notes anyway. But I'm going to go out of the Turing machine into the sample and hold. Why does it seem like the note's not changing? Because it's not. What's it? Oh no, there it goes, there it goes. It seems there's like no range. I don't know why. Let's go right out of the Turing machine into the the 1 volt per octave of the pluck. I think we need to slow it down, obviously. Still seems like it's like barely changing. Why is that? The scale? Oh. Okay, obviously that's going to sound super horrible because we're not quantizing that. Okay, where was that going? Into the sample and hold. Right, okay. And then... oh my goodness. Okay. There we go. Do you think I want to modulate the pluck a little bit? Just add a little life to it. Maybe the decay. I have no idea where this is going. This is pretty horrendous sounding. And I still don't understand why the note... You know what? I want to try something really quick. I want to see exactly what is coming out of the Turing machine in terms of the 1 volt per octave. So let's just, as a really quick check, plug one of my oscillators into the... Whoa! Sorry. Yikes. Oh, so one of the cool things on this Bafaco mixer is it has these just like on-off switches for each channel. So in addition to, you know, a knob for the levels, you can just hard cut it off, and they have a on position that it stays in, but then there's also a momentary press, and I forget what the, what do they call it? There's a certain technology you can have in a switch where it's not like a hard on or off, it's almost like this analog fade out. I don't really use it that much, but you can potentially use it in a performative way, because like, listen to this. Wait, where'd the oscillator go? What? Oh, because I didn't press it. Right, so listen to this. You hear how it kind of fades out. That's kind of cool. Anyway, let's see what the hell the Turing machine is actually doing. Yeah, it's changing a bunch. So why... Oh, I know what's happening. Because the Turing machine is like, sure, it's like random and generative, but you can basically have it repeat things at a certain frequency. So it's like it'll randomly generate a certain pattern of notes, and then it will maybe like repeat that a little bit before it moves on to something else. Almost like in a way you would in a song. And I think because the sample and hold of that was so intermittent, we were just like happening to sample it, like when it was repeating in a way. So I think actually let's just not sample and hold, maybe. Let's try that. Instead, let's just go right out of the Turing machine into the 1 volt per octave of pluck and see if that sounds any better. Not really liking... Why is this sound... Oh, I think the pitch on the pluck is attenuated. There we go. Yeah, the knobs oftentimes on a module serve as an attenuator for the control voltage. Oh hell yeah! We're getting some kind of neat stuff now. Whoa, that's sick! Did you hear that? Whoa! I've never done super low pluck notes. That's fucking cool. Okay, we're gonna attenuate this with my actual attenuverter because I want to keep it in that low bassy range, and that's... Oh, that all sounds super cool. Oh, I love that sound. Listen to that. Those low bass notes. Oh man, let's see if we can get it to stay in that range. So we're just gonna go out of the Turing machine into the attenuverter, and I think again I want to use just a basic oscillator as a reference point, just something more straightforward, easy to understand. So here's our oscillator. There's our range. Okay, so now we know what that range sounds like. Let's go into the attenuverter. It's just because like this attenuverter module by ALM, it confuses me sometimes. I mistake which is the offset and which is the attenuation, and sometimes I get in a place where it's like I'm just changing the offset and I've attenuated it so much that it's not changing notes actually. So let's just... Oh, it's like perfect out of the box. It's changing, but it's in a super low range. Sick. And we're not even quantizing. I mean, obviously Turing machine, because it repeats patterns within a certain, and we're attenuating it, it's going to start to sound musical. But let's actually go through the quantizer and see if... Okay, I'm going to leave the sample and hold all set up because we might decide to start using it again. Let's yeah, let's attenuate it and see if it sounds more appealing. Or not attenuate, quantize. What am I talking about? Don't listen to me. Yeah. Dig it. Okay, now let's give that to pluck. So again, just was using that oscillator as like a basic reference point because it was just, you know, more straightforward. Bum 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 bum. Okay, let's turn on pluck. Oh, it just happened to stop on a bassy note before we unplug the 1 volt per octave. Okay, let's plug it in. Okay, that's too low, potentially. Ooh. Oh, that's sick. I love how crunchy it sounds. It kind of reminds me of, oh yeah, especially, so I'm EQing it right now. I'm taking out the low end and turning up the high end, the mids. Oh, that's so sick. It sounds like, not 8-bit, but it sounds a lot like, kind of like the music from like a DOS video games from like the late 90s, you know? There was this game I played when I was a kid called Jill of the Jungle. It reminds me a lot of that, which I think that sound is FM synthesis. Is that what that is? I mean, this is not FM synthesis, obviously. Or maybe it is. I don't know what they're doing in that module, but yeah, anyway, I just love that crunch. I think we might want to bring up the range to a slightly higher range. Let's see. Okay, Okay, I think I know which knob is the offset and which is the attenuation. Let's see. I don't want to mess it up. Now that's the attenuation, because it's still going super low and it's going super high, so let's turn it back down. I don't want the range to be too much. I think that might be our sweet spot. Ooh. Oh, I love it. I think I want the rate to be constant. I don't think I want to modulate that anymore. Now that we're getting more musical, I think this might serve as like our rock. Need a little consistency. Let's play with the rate. Maybe... No. I'm gonna leave it. That's a nice bass line. I think attenuate a little bit less, maybe. I do think we want to reintroduce the sample and hold because, or maybe, I don't know. I just feel like now and then it's changing notes mid-note, and I just never like that sound. It just always sounds like an accident. But then again, if we do that, it's just going to be like whereas maybe I know what the answer is. We can keep the note changing within the burst, but make sure that it doesn't change within one note by using the output of the burst as the sample and hold trigger instead of the main trigger. So it can still go like... yeah. I think you know what I mean. This will just prevent it from bending notes, which is what I'm trying to get rid of. But I want to keep that variation within the burst. Okay, so stealing our trigger for a moment. And gosh, I've never been so disciplined with my cable economics as I am today. It's just last stream, I just totally ran out of cables, and I had additional ideas I wanted to play around with, and it was super annoying. Okay, so now that goes... I know I said I was going to keep the sample and hold setup, but I didn't, so trigger in, and I'm not plugging it into the pluck yet, because whatever, let's plug it in. I'm just going to turn it off on the mixer. Some of these super short cables, I don't know if you can see, because I have the camera on a manual focus, so it's like focused out here, but maybe you can see, not really. They're these really nice cables from Instro. They're woven, and they're gold and black, on brand, of course, for Instro. I love their stuff so much, it's so beautiful. Okay. So we have our trigger in, we need our sample in, which is currently going into the quantizer, so we're going to sample in, and then sample back into the quantizer. I just said out like I'm Canadian. Ouch, ouch. Okay. It's not having the impact I thought it would. It's like... First of all, why is it only doing... It's doing the same two notes over and over again. What's up with that? Oh, it's... I think it's Turing Machine again. I think Turing Machine's like stuck on a loop or something. There we go. Yeah. Cool. So it can change notes mid-loop or mid-burst, but it's not going to change notes mid-note. It's exactly what we wanted. Why is Turing Machine being so... I always... It's like you turn the knob one direction and it's more random, and you turn it the other direction and you'll have more repetition. I always forget which is which, though. I feel like 12 o'clock is supposed to be the middle ground. Okay, there we go. Sick. I want to shape this sound of this bass a little bit more. You know, right now I'm just playing with the EQ. Ooh. It's pretty nice. But what else can we do? I don't think I want to filter it. Oh, this is going to sound real good with the Bassimilis Icarus Alter. That's my one and only percussion module, because that's super industrial, and we'll be able to get some gritty percussion sounds that will match well with this. But first I want to focus more on shaping... I'm going to turn it off. I want to focus more on shaping this sound a bit more. So what are our options? Our options are, in terms of modules, filter. I don't think a filter would really be that interesting for this. I have a tape simulation delay. So it's like a delay, but it simulates a little bit of tape degradation. And then I have the R bar, of course, which is granular synthesis, but you can also make it introduce reverb. But then over here, outside of the synth, I have two pedals that I have connected to my patch bay over here. One is the generation loss, MK2, and then the other is avalanche run delay reverb. Why my brain has like tried to erase reverb from my vocabulary today. So we have reverb pedal. I think generation loss could be nice for this, although it might... well, maybe we'll do it as an effect send, because I don't want to get rid of too much of the crunchiness and the crunchiness that's specific to the voice of the pluck module. Because generation loss will definitely make things crunchy, but it will be like its own thing. But maybe first let's try totally just going through it and coming back in, not as an effect send, like only hearing the output of generation loss, just as a starting point. Although I did find this adapter, which will allow me to get stereo out of the generation loss, but I can only do that. No, I take it back. Yeah, no, I'm still short on an adapter, because the input for my effect send... Oh, wait, no, I could do it. Yeah, I can only do it if we're not using it as an effect send, because basically... Wait, no, I can't. Oh, yes, I can. So what we're going to have to do is go out of the generation loss and then plug these two into really anything in the patch bay over here. Because the problem is I don't have any inputs on the synth that are 1/4 inch other than my microphone plug over here. So, but I have, of course, plenty of 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch cables. So what we can do is use this to patch back into the patch bay into maybe like the reverb pedal, and we won't use it, but we'll just then go out of the reverb pedal, which is also stereo, and has stereo input and output, and then we can go and get stereo out of that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, this is fun. We've got a project now. Okay, I'm gonna turn the bass line back on so we have some theme music as we work. Okay. Ouch. Generation loss. Okay. I've got my stereo 1/4-inch cable plugging into this adapter. So out of generation loss into the left and right input of avalanche run. And then we've got our independent left and right out from avalanche run. And we actually kind of we can kind of use it as an effect send because I can always split the output of pluck and go into direct line from pluck into the mixer and then send the other one out. Yeah, let's do that. And we're going to use 5 as our right channel and then 4 as our left channel. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, generation loss. You can hear the tape noise that it's adding, even when there's no signal going into it. That's cool. And then, right, so let's split. Again, I'm going to be economic with my cables. Split the... Because also, I like rarely need the short cables, so I'm going to use them whenever I can, so I don't run out of long cables. Okay, cool. So we're going back into the mixer, and we have our splitting that we're going to go into generation loss, and I'm going to turn this way down because it could be super crazy. Ooh, well, that's already exciting. So even just by virtue of it being in stereo, we've already got some movement, even though we haven't done anything. Okay, I'm gonna flatten the EQ. I'm only hearing it in the left channel. I don't know why. Yeah, there's nothing coming out of the right for me. What about maybe? Oh, avalanche run's not activated. Does it need to be? Okay, now I hear something coming out of the right. But let's... So I think we have to have this activated. Just turn the mix all the way down. So now we'll get what's coming through, but we're not. Does the input to generation loss have to be stereo to get stereo out? I didn't think it did. Ooh, that's hot. Listen to that. So I'm just panning it. Yeah, I'm getting nothing out of the right channel at all from generation loss. I guess it has to be stereo in, whereas avalanche run, you can send in a monophonic signal and get stereo out. So I guess generation loss doesn't add it, so that's fine. So we'll just go. That's annoying. So we're gonna go monophonic out of... We're gonna go monophonic out of generation loss instead and go into avalanche run, because then I think that avalanche run will spread that across both channels, the left and right. Which obviously we can do in the mixer, but it would be nice to get, just get the mono generation loss in both ears, but then get the stereo avalanche run. Let's see. No. So the pass-through for avalanche run is monophonic. Oh, but maybe it's because I'm using a patch bay and I have something permanently plugged into the right input. Let's try unplugging the input from the pedal itself. Yep, that did it. Okay, let's play with these generation loss settings. I'm just trying the different tape emulation models. I think we definitely want to add a bit of reverb, not too much. I don't want it to get too muddy. It's already getting a little muddy, I think. That's not bad. So that's where we started, and this is where we are now. So it's like shapes the sound a bit, adds a bit of atmosphere. I think I like it. Yeah, the nice thing about what the reverb is doing is it's kind of like it's almost like acting as a sample and hold in a way where it's like spreading out one of those pitches consistently in the background. You know what I mean? Yeah, like that. Ooh. The hell was that? I didn't touch anything. And we just totally stopped getting anything from generation loss and avalanche run. What's up with that? Oh, I think it might be because, so I'm not using, technically, you're supposed to use a output module to go out to pedals, and I'm not doing that, which I think sometimes when you send a signal that's too hot, the pedal is just like, ah, no, and it stops. So maybe, that's a bummer. Well, maybe we just do it as an effect send after all. Since we're not doing stereo anyway, so it shouldn't matter. I feel like I need to test it though with something that I know is working. So let's just send, as per usual, send it a basic oscillator. I'm not getting anything. Let's make sure we're getting something from that. Yeah. Okay, so that's our little test signal. Yeah, we're getting nothing from the pedals. Don't know what I want to do. Yeah, Testing out the mixer. They're on the mixer. We're going direct out of an oscillator into the generation loss. Maybe let's try going into avalanche run by itself. Yep, that works. Yeah, it's really just, I think it's just the generation loss pedal. I've never had this issue with avalanche run. I think generation loss gets a little sensitive sometimes with how hot the voltage can be. Maybe I'll try turning it off and on again. Okay, it's back on. And I'm going to keep this oscillator very quiet so it's not too hot. Make sure we're still getting something when we put it through avalanche run. That's really loud. Wow, I haven't set it all the way down. That's kind of cool. Okay. Let's try this. Whoa, there it goes. Yeah, it's still super, super hot. Okay, so let's try it as an effect send, because the effect send is a lower level. Whoa. Why did it sound like that? Why does it sound different when I'm using the effect send? Oh, cool. It's an internal feedback loop because I'm doing it as an effect send now. I don't have to go back into the mixer. I have to go back in through the effect send. That's why it was like, wee, wee, wee. Okay, in left, in right. Okay, it should be back to normal. Oh, and it actually sounds way better than it did before. Yeah, so I think it actually sounded I think it sounded as crunchy as it did because the levels were too hot. Which did sound good, but it can't be good for the pedal. Alright. Where were we? We were playing with the different tape models. And actually, I'm going to turn the reverb all the way off for this. Because we can't... Oh no, it does pass through. Cool. So this is just generation loss what I'm listening to. And in theory, we can turn the levels down here and just turn up. Yeah, so now we're only hearing the effect send, really. Okay, these are the different tape models. You know, we could go back into the mixer, though, because the only reason we heard the internal feedback loop was the channel we were coming in on was being sent to the effects send. So all we have to do is turn off all the only thing we want to be sending to the pedals is the output of pluck. Okay. Yeah, because I think I get more control on the mixer. You don't get a EQ for the effect send, which is kind of limiting. Okay, so left and right, and they're off, so okay, I'll just plug it right in. Here we go. It's not really much control, though, because it's super quiet. Yeah. doesn't really add much. Okay, going back to the effect send instead. Okay. That's you can hear me turning my mic off. There's a lot of noise on this mic. I think it's because of my voice transformer. I think it's just like not very high quality, but I like it. Okay, where were we? Okay, so it actually, interesting. I thought that the only place you controlled how loud the effect send is up here, and that was independent of the level on the mixer. But it appears... Oh, maybe... Aha! Whoa. Yeah, so what we're doing now... Oh, cool. Okay, I'm learning. So, on the Hexpander expansion for the hex mix, for the effect send, there's a pre-output for the send and a post-output. Post-output is like after the mixer, and so basically you have to have the levels up on the thing you're sending, whereas now when I'm on pre, I'm sending it before what I'm doing on the mixer. In other words, I can control... so I have the... Here, so this is without the effects, although you can hear some noise in the background. And then turn it all the way down, and this is through the effects without the original at all. Which is what I want when I'm shaping the sound. So I can really focus on what are we adding. That's kind of nice, a little dark. Oh, no, shoot. I didn't mean to change the model. I like the model. I think it was that one. Okay, so now we can gently bring some of the pristine signal before effects. We bring some of that in, see how that cleans up or like fills out the sound a bit. I think I like that. add a teeny pinch of reverb just to get that atmosphere back. Oh, I just deactivated it. Okay, it's on. There we go. I think I like that. Okay, that might be a little too much. Turn down a smidge. I think... Oh, that's funny. Oh. I was like, I turned off... Okay. Oh, that reverb pedal is so good. Avalanche Run is such a sick pedal. Everything sounds good through it. Okay, I'm happy with that sound. Now it's time to add percussion. And basically what we're going to do for that, and this, whoa, jeez. This is where the fact that we're using Pamela's new workout as essentially not our main clock is over here as a reminder, but because we're using that as our kind of like main, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but we still have 6 more outputs on that we can use to trigger best stimulus Icarus alter. And the cool thing is, like, it has all kind of like randomization, so we can say like, okay, it should be like this fast, but also it should only trigger within a certain frequency. It should be kind of random. But then also, you know, we can use the other outputs to modulate the various control voltages of the bass stimulus Icarus alter, which is at first when I got it, I didn't understand, and when I was thinking about getting it, I didn't understand like how can it be useful to have like a one voice percussion unit. But then when I realized, it's like, oh, if you modulate the different, you know, knobs with gates and triggers, you know, at according to the beat, you're basically really quickly changing the voice for each hit. So like you can kind of like if you're triggering it like really, really frequently, but then you're modulating really frequently, and it's like according to a pattern, you can basically make it sound like you're playing a whole, like, you know, you got like your toms and your hi-hat, your whatever. Not to, yeah, physical terms are kind of stupid for stuff like this, but you know what I mean. Okay, so let's start with, we're going to use output number 3. And let's just have it be a 1x multiplier of the main clock. That looks super slow. There's also, okay, yeah. Oh, it's already random, but I don't think, do we want it to be random? I don't know. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, so I'm going to plug that into the trigger, and then I'm going to plug the output into channel, I don't need this plugged in anymore. That was our kind of reference oscillator. Let's plug that into channel 2. Turn it on so we don't get... This module is so hardcore. It's so funny. Just like instantly, just like... Rawr! That's just what it happens to be doing. Okay. So it's slow, but it is on a random. I think I want to change it from random to another gate. Yeah, no, a gate. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Wait, why is it still randomized? Oh, it's not. Okay. Yeah, it's being... Right? No, it's still skipping some. Why is it skipping some? Level, offset, width, phase, delay. Oh, yeah. Even when it's, Right, so even when it's on a gate, you have random skips. So right now it's on 100%. Is there a 0%? I feel like I can't get to 0. It's just like either 1 or 100. There's 1. Okay, 0. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, random skip is off. So now I just want a starting point where we know what it's doing. No, it's still skip. Why is it skip? It's on. It says R skip 0%. Maybe there's some other setting. E step, E trig, E rotation. Quantize, no. Slope, no. Mute, no. Save, load, reset, wave. Level. Output width. Maybe it's not skipping. Why does it sound like it's behind the beat? It is. Oh. Crap. I just realized that the rhythm of our bass, that's just being defined by the rate on the burst module. That has nothing to do with our clock. So, okay, so what we need to do then, that's annoying. Because that means, oh man. I'm thinking. So initially my thought was, okay, we're already splitting the output of the burst. We could put the burst into the clock divider, because then we'd be able to take that and maybe like slow it down. And we could do that. Let's try that. But I have a different idea that I think is a better idea. So, okay. Right, because like if we plug it into here directly, it's just gonna hit exactly with the bass. But we don't want that. We want to have a little, variation. So let's go out of that into the clock divider. Yeah, no, that doesn't work at all, because I thought that it basically would capture the tempo, even though it's intermittent, but it's not. It's basically replicating exactly what it gets. The clock multiplier does. This is stupid. So what we could do is go out of the clock multiplier into the clock divider. And now we're getting a consistent division of the tempo of the burst. So. Why does it sound... It like drifts a little bit there. Anyway, I said I have a better idea. I do have a better idea. The trigger that we are sending into the burst module is coming out of Pamela's new workout. But if if our tempo is really defined by the burst itself, we don't really want to be using that main clock for Pamela's new workout. I think so. Instead, I think what we do is we just use an LFO, because it is consistent. It's not random. It's like bop, bop, bop. Right. So I mean, we could even what we could do is actually just actually let's just go to Apple. Yeah. So we're just going to take the LFO we're currently using to clock Pamela, and we're going to go into the clock divider, and then we're going to take the oh, we are clocking Turing machine though. Shit. So this is the cool thing about Pamela. She still has the clock, even though we unplugged it. It just like remembers. Okay, so come out of here and go to the 4th division. Right. Okay, so now we're getting the exact same pace of triggering, but not using Pamela for that. Now, in the case of Turing machine, it's a 2x of the main clock that's going into Pamela. I don't know if the clock of Turing machine matters as much, because that's really just going to define the density of the change of the tones, which I don't think you'd really notice anything there. So let's just, I don't know, pick something random, like a 2x division. Or maybe just a 1-to-1. We'll feed it the exact clock. Is that as good as it was before? I think it's basically the same, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so the whole point of doing that was to free up Pamela, because what I think we can do, I think we can clock Pamela with the burst output. It didn't seem right using the rotated clock divider, or clock multiplier, but that's a shuffling clock multiplier, so it may have been doing something funny there. Or also, it's probably not as advanced as Pamela, obviously, in terms of like quantizing a clock that may fluctuate. So let's see. Oh yeah. This is kind of weird. So I'm just watching the lights on Pamela because I don't know if it's working the way I hoped it would. Because like basically, I want to take that rhythm, and I want to be able to like capture that as a clock. But it looks like all of the outputs are stopping when it stops. I don't know. Let's plug into the trigger on the Bessimilus and see what it's actually doing instead of just looking at the lights. Here's that's 2x multiplication. That's so dumb. You know, I'm sure. Oh, you know what though? I wonder. No. Man, there's gotta be a way to do this with Pamela's new workout that I don't know about. No. Okay. Oh. Oh. Yeah. No, it doesn't work. So this is supposed to be a one-to-one. So there should be constantly. I think that honestly the shuffling clock multiplier was a lot closer. So I wonder, what if we try the shuffling clock multiplier again? So this is, yeah, it's close. I mean, maybe that's the best we can do. But my thought was, what if we take that and then clock Pamela with that? Maybe Pamela will smooth over that little bump that it hits now and then. No, I think it's doing it. It's translating it verbatim. You know, this also, I don't think this is what we're looking for, because now that I think about it, yes, I want something that matches that rate, but it also has to line up with the trigger, like but like the rhythm has to line up with that. So I think maybe what we do, I think we go back to, this is so ridiculous. I think we go back to using the trigger as our main clock. And so just to demonstrate what I mean by that. This is the main clock. So we'll clock with that, and then we'll just use the outputs of Pamela as multipliers to try and get close to the tempo of the burst. I mean, this might be kind of close, I don't know. Let's find out. Nope. Damn, and those are my two options. It's either that or that. I mean, maybe there's a way to get more granular, I don't know. I don't think, man, I really don't know how to do this. It's a tricky one. Maybe do they need to be clocked? Maybe they don't. You know, I've definitely had patches where you have like a melody kind of doing its own thing, and then you've got like a 4 on the floor that holds it down and grounds it. But with a bass line, I don't know. I guess let's just try it. You know? What's the worst that can happen? And I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a clock in here. Okay, that's 8x. So let's go to 1x. So we get our... I don't think it works. They have to... This is such a tricky one. Because I think the tempo of the trigger and the tempo of the burst are two totally different things. So even if we clock to the burst, it's not going to line up with the trigger. But I think we have to pick one. We gotta clock to something, because that didn't sound good just now, in my opinion. And if we're gonna clock to one of them, I think it's better for it to be the burst. So let's do that again. So we've got our... Right, it's going into our clock multiplier. There we go. Yeah, it's like, it's weird, but I think if we want percussion, I think this is the best we can do. Wait a second. No. It's not what I thought I would do. Oh, you know what, though? No, I don't know how to do... I was gonna say, since we're not modulating the rate or the number of pulses, theoretically we could reproduce what burst is doing with Pamela's new workout, and then thus have a consistent clock and not have a drift between the trigger and the burst, right? But I don't know how to... I don't know how to tell it to do... I think we can figure it out. I think that's the way to go. We can basically replicate what we're doing with the burst module. So, to do that, we are going to clock yeah. Okay. So now the question is, can we get an output of Pamela's new workout to replace that da 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 da. like obviously we can get some, like, so let's go to output 2. I don't know if we can get something that's exactly that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's like it goes directly from a 16x to a 24x. What other options do I have here? So type, there's gate, level, offset, width, phase, delay. Oh. Wait, is delay? Interesting. Let's go back to actually. So this is the, this is a 1-to-1 of the trigger for the burst module. I think by delay, does it mean like delay? Like, can we add repetitions to this? No, it's not doing anything. I don't know what it means at all, because it's not doing anything. I don't think it's like delaying the beat or something. Delay division. Oh. Yeah. That's what it does. It's delaying, it's adding like a delay to when it outputs. It's not delay that, like a guitar delay pedal. Random skip, E step, E trigger, E rotate, quantize, no logic, slope, mute, save, load, reset. Yeah. Maybe there's different output types. Maybe there's a burst output type. Gate, triangle, sine, envelope, random. I don't know what that is. CV, gate. No, man. I'm gonna look it up. I'll Google it. Let's see if Pamela's new workout burst output. Oh, we have a viewer. Hello, viewer. You are the first one today, I think. Who are you? Make yourself known in the chat. Say hi. We're having a really exciting time right now. I'm Googling a manual for one of my modules. Yes, it is you. Dianmutta 1105. I don't know how to say your name. Welcome. Who are you? Where are you from? Mein Deutsch ist nicht so gut. Okay, let's see. I think I found something. Somebody asked this question on Reddit. Does anyone know a way in which Pamela's new workout can send bursts of random? I don't want random, but I do want bursts. So somebody said, try this. Create the random CV output channel as you have been under the logic parameter for that channel. This is too complicated. Annoying. Well, viewer, I don't know if you've been present for this whole troubleshooting, but the thing we're trying to do here is add some percussion to go with our bass line, but the problem is we're using the burst module for that bass line, so there's no correlation between the tempo of the clock that is triggering the burst module and the tempo of the bursts themselves, which is challenging because then you can't really have percussion that matches the tempo of the bursts, but also lines up with when the bursts are being triggered. So it's going to be wonky either way, which we might just have to roll with. But I was trying to see if there was another way. I don't think there is. The only other thing I could think of is like, you know, we make this. No. Because it's either this or. I think clocking the rhythm to the burst tempo is probably the closest we can get, but there's that weird hiccup. I don't know why it does that. Whatever. Let's just roll with it. I'm going to introduce some random skipping. There we go. I think this is gonna work. Because if we introduce random skipping, then we don't get that weird skip. And it might... Yeah, this might work. Okay. And we use some of the other outs. This rhythm is so busted. I don't know. Maybe it works. I'm not gonna give up. It always starts in a shitty place. And let's get the effects back so we can get our full sound back for the bass line. Alright, so I don't lose my mind, I'm gonna turn off the bass line for now. So we can just focus on the rhythm without being annoyed by the fact that it's weirdly out of sync with the bass line. We're just gonna do that. So basically now I'm just going to start sending more and more control voltages to the bestsimilicitor's altar at various divisions and multiplications of the clock, just to start. This is easily the shittiest, weirdest percussion I've ever done. I can't get over how wonky it is. You know? Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll just send it a consistent clock so we can work on it. There we go. A little bit faster. The thing I want to try though is because with Pamela's new workout, you can send not just triggers and gates, but like essentially LFOs. That would be See, that's exactly the perfect kind of percussion that would go so well with the sound of the bass line, but we just can't marry their tempo. You know, I think I have an idea. If we can't get the clocks to align, perhaps, and Pamela's new workout doesn't do a burst, perhaps the closest we can do is get something to match that tempo, and then just do random skipping. Maybe that will be close. I don't know. Yeah, because this doesn't work together, right? Yeah, they sound too independent from one another, so we just gotta get them on the same page, rhythmically speaking. So, let's see. Let's focus on replacing the trigger for the bass line. So, for that, we need something with a similar da-da-da-da-da-da. So, let's use output number 4 on Pamela. And can I just put that in the mixer and hear the gate? Oh shoot, I think I just changed something on one of my other outputs. It's the only thing I don't like about modules like Pamela's new workout. It's very menu divey, and that's kind of like not my vibe. I like knobs and physical things, but it's such a powerful module. Okay, so output number 6. Yeah, it's kind of useless to listen to. Okay, let's just replace the trigger for now. We can always plug it back in. Whoa. I mean, that's kind of too crazy, but it's like not terribly different. And then the only other thing we would need to do, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm all in on this idea. Okay, so we need to, because we're using for the sample and hold and all of that stuff, we're using the burst. So we need... And then... Okay, this should theoretically do something similar. Okay, so the rhythm is still super duper weird, but there's just some setting on this channel. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's it's random. It's not even a gate. So let's change that to a gate. Why is it? It's weird. Level 100 offset with phase delay. Let's turn that off. Division or skip. Step 16 trigger. Quantize now. I think. Can I not use a gate as a... Oh no, I think it's just my, Oh. There we go! Yeah, somehow I got to a 6x multiplier. Okay, but obviously now the issue is... Oh, that's actually not... That's not too far off from the tempo of the bursts. So now... Man, I really wish there was a way to do the burst. I think maybe something we could do is use a VCA. So basically, use an output from Pamela to open, like turn up the volume on it. Just like, that might work. But not on the voice, I'm talking about the actual gate, that trigger that we're sending to Cluck. That might work. Sounds... I think it's too fast. But... Wait, what is our clock source again? Alright, it's that. Let's slow that down. Let's just add some random skipping. No. Let's stick with the VCA idea. Or even, you know what we could do? put the trigger through a VCA, and let's go back out and make sure it works. Ugh, plug in. Why is that not plugging in? There we go. Turn it back up. Right. Right, so now we can basically open that up and close it according to the beat. So let's try this. Let's go to output number 5. I think it's right because we don't have any. There was no randomization, right? I think it was just. Yeah. Okay. So it's working. So now. So now this output, number 5, is essentially going to control the window of time that we're sending triggers to pluck. So we can kind of emulate the burst. First, I kind of... Yeah. It's more like the burst we were doing. Let's go back to 5. So what is 5 actually doing? Oh, it's random. That's, of course. That's exactly what it sounds like. So if I send it a gate, and then I need to make it slow. Right, that's yeah, number 5. Ooh. I mean, that's not what we had before, but I like that. And we can now be synchronized. Like, theoretically, let's see. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's work on shaping the sound of the percussion, because I hate it currently. It's stupid. Okay. Yeah, this is so basic. I think, where's our trigger? It's number 1. Yeah. I think I want to introduce some randomness. Maybe make it faster too. 2x. But with some random skipping. Ooh. Whoa. That's kind of sick. That's strong. Thank you. I don't think there's no timestamps on the chat, so I don't know when you said that. Did you say it just now? I hope so, because this is a happy accident. That sounds sick as fuck. Now the problem is the the drum, quote unquote drum voice. It kind of has pitch to it. There's a little, there's some resonance in there, and it's kind of dissonant with the pitch of our bass line. I don't know if you hear that, but I think we can just play with the pitch of the drums a bit. Or, I wonder. Yeah, no, because like if this was if we weren't using the pluck module, if this was just a regular oscillator, we could just ever so gently adjust the frequency of the oscillator. So still using the quantization, but just like essentially offsetting its starting point a tiny bit. But we can't do that with pluck. So I think our only option, since we're using quantization, is we have to kind of like find a way to get that tone, that kind of pitch that's present in the percussion to play nicely with the scale that we're using for the bass line. It's tough because I want to go down, but the pitch is all the way down. Maybe I can. Not really sure. Yeah, I mean, like, we have no way of offsetting that. I have no way, because the pitch knob on pluck, when you're sending 1 volt per octave, it just serves as an attenuator, not an offset, I believe. Ooh. I think it maybe did it. There's that one note. It's the same pitch. I think it's like so close to being in tune. This knob has like no nuance to it. Ugh, God. It's so difficult. It's like a microtone dissonant. Ooh. That might be close. Yeah, I have like no room for play over here. Okay, anyway, I think that's good enough in terms of pitch. Now, see, now it's. I don't think it's offsetting the pitch. I think it is attenuation because now the bass line is going like way up into that upper range, which I don't want it to. I like when it's low and crunchy. Like. I like when the bass line stays around there. So I think the only answer is we just got to figure out a way to get rid of that tonality in the percussion, which is a shame because I like that percussion sound a lot. But I just think it's too dissonant with this. So I'm gonna just play around with the percussion and see what we can. I found a compromise. I didn't have the range because that we were hearing was in the alto range of the bassimilus iterus alto, and we were modulating that. So we're just not going to modulate the bass alto what do they call it? Treble. Instead, we're just going to go in the bass, but then I have the range to tune its pitch, and I think keep pitch in its sound, but get it in tune with the oscillator or the pluck. There we go. Hell yeah. Okay, those go together. Okay. Sick. Whoa. I hit the stop button on Pamela. Okay, let's get back to... feel like we need a kick. We need just a 4 on the floor kick. I'm such a basic bitch, but that's my go-to to tie it all together. Unfortunately, I have no other drum modules, so we're gonna have to make one, kinda, and I'm not very good at that, so we'll see. Bum 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 bum. Do so many settings on Pamela's new workout. The last time I used that module, I had everything set to random. Okay, so I've got a nice 4 on the floor going into an envelope generator. Let's get that going into a VCA. And I'm just gonna send something into it. And this is gonna sound like dog shit, but just wanna make sure it's working. It's actually not half bad. That's just what happened to be coming out of that oscillator. Sick. Maybe, I think I want to put that through a filter. Oh shit. Wrong cable. Here's the thing, we need a melodic line, but the problem that we are having with tuning is going to happen again because we're going to have to tune our voice, our oscillator, to the baseline of whatever pluck happens to be, and pluck is like really weird in the sense that it's like it's hard to pin down what the tone is. It's like hard to, oh, that's a C or that's a D sharp. So we're just gonna have to do it by ear. But let's do it. So I'm going to let's see, we need white noise out of the Turing machine. And I'm just gonna quantize that as a starting point. But we'll want to sample and hold it. Actually, we have to sample and hold it. What am I talking about? Sample in. And what do we want the trigger for the sample to be? It could be anything. I think let's use an output from Pamela as the sample trigger. Of course, this has more randomness. For one of my oscillators. And for now, let's just go out of the oscillator right into the mixer. Why is that doing nothing? Hello? Oh. Am I sampling too frequently? It is quantizing, because when I change the chord configuration, it's changing. Let's change the division to be slower. No, it's not. Because if I go here, it's still not triggering the sampling. Why is that? Sample in, trigger in, sample and hold out, quantize out. What if I go direct from the noise into the quantizer? What does that do? Whoa. Is that what the... I'm confused. Well, yeah, of course that's gonna work. Just a basic LFO. But that's annoying because it's too predictable. But maybe we instead can do... Sorry about your ears. Output number 3. And we're going to change it from a gate to a sine wave. Okay. Slow it down. And can we add randomness to a sine wave? I think we can. Oh, no, we just make it a random. No. Oh. Yeah, that works. Okay. It's just too slow now. Okay. But now we need... Definitely have to attenuate that, obviously. need to do sample and hold since our source is clocked. Okay. So now we need to tune. Oh, that's actually not that indiscernible. Oh, but we're attenuating, so we can offset it. But then that's going to impact the tuning. No, it won't, because it's pre-quantization. Wait, did I? What? Sorry, this is pure chaos for the moment. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. was fun. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you same time, same place next week.